Hey everybody, it's Calxiyn here. So today we are going to be talking about something that I find very interesting. So, Spring, I actually kind of had this thought before this episode, but Spring said something along the lines of like, wow, like if you weren't a Schnee, you may have been, like, good as one of us or something, to that extent. And Weiss would be like, oh, but I'd never, go to your level. But, like, this video is basically, like, but what if she did, okay? And so this kind of ties in. We've kind of done a lot of videos about this week. This is, like, our final one. This is the, Friday upload. So I kind of want to talk about this. This kind of ties into our Weiss and Yang situation and also our video about... you know, her father trying to kill her, and so I'm gonna set the scene again, okay? I've done that for every, like, video involving Weiss. I've set the scene, right, Hunter? Mm-hmm. You didn't say anything at the beginning, so, like, nobody knew you were there. But anyway, so here's the idea, right? So Yang does that thing that I said in my Yang video, where, like, she kind of says something insulting, about, like, how Team RWBY left her and all that stuff, and that's why she's coming for Raven, so Weiss feels really bad about herself and really kind of unwanted and stuff like that, so even though she knows that Yang's in the camp, and, like, even though, like, she's probably been, like, gagged and shit, so she can't really make that much, like, she's basically given up trying to escape at this point, because she kind of hears how Yang has talked about the team and how Yang has come here instead of coming to see RWBY, and she feels really hopeless with that almost, and so she's like, I don't really need, like, I don't want Yang to know that I'm around, you know what I mean? And we kind of talked about subverting the trope of, like, that Yang didn't actually, like, mean it, she was just saying it because Raven was like, no, like, Yang meant it, bitch. Like, Yang actually meant it, because Yang was a little bit pissy about that, like, all of my friends abandoned you just like you did, but, like, now you're the only one that I can find, like, something like that.
Motherfucker, my luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Your luck, I'm kidnapped.
So, something like that, and so, to that extent, then, okay, so Yang is gone at this point, or at least she's not really relevant anymore, but then they go talk to, like, Jocks and or Whitley, and they're just like, hey, we don't really want to pay the ransom to get our daughter back, we don't actually want her, I like how I said our daughter back, like it's Whitley and Jocks and Jocks.
Surprise!
Surprise! No, so, Jacques, like, I don't really want my sister back, or my daughter back, and so, like, why don't you just kill her? We were gonna tell everyone she went crazy anyway and lock her in the house, but, like, if y'all got her, we can just pay you to kill her and cover it up, and so, you know, give us a lock of her hair and we'll see you later, you know? And so, they basically do that, and, like, Weiss is, like, somehow in the room, like, when they say that, maybe. Like, because, you know, they have to show that Weiss is on camera and they actually got her. So Weiss is tied up, like, she can't speak, or, like, they do let her speak and she's like, you know, maybe she's like, I don't want any help from you, Jocks, you know, Jocks, or Jocks, you know what I mean?
Jock. Wearing a jock. Anyways.
But you know what I mean, right? She's just like, I would never beg, like, for you to come rescue me or something like that. And then that's when Jocks is just like, oh, well, if that's the case, why don't we just kill you? And then Weiss is like, what? I know. That. So something to that effect, right? Because they want to show her on camera. They want her to try and, like, plead with her father. And then they'd be in for a fucking surprise when she's like, hey, no, I don't want to plead with my father. And then it'd be, like, a double surprise because her father would be like, well, I don't want to plead with you either. Why don't we just kill ya? And so that would kind of be the situation, and so this is, like, very, very, I don't want to say dense, but it's very hypothetical. I don't think it's gonna happen, but imagine how cool it would be if Raven at this point is like, well, listen, this girl has, like, nowhere to go anymore, you know what I mean? And so, in my mind, I could see Raven totally manipulating the fuck out of this situation. And so basically what I mean by that is, like, I don't know how to explain this properly. A lot of cults are kind of like, they cut you off from your family and the outside world and stuff like that and kind of make you believe that nobody else cares about you sort of thing, but then in this case it would kind of be true. And so basically what they'd be kind of saying...
So what we're saying is, join a cult, kids.
No. But basically what they'd be saying, like, imagine with Hunter, like, your family doesn't even want you anymore. Your friends are all gone.
They don't
you should just stay with me.
They don't see you saddle up to me.
And make videos.
You're doing this not for them, but for your own twisted enjoyment.
I'm just trying to, like, explain to you, because you're the one that needs to really understand this concept, so you can help me commentate. But you know what I mean? Like, Hunter, imagine a world where all of these people love you because, you know, you make YouTube videos, and we'll all work together as one big community, because Bandits are family by like, not friendship. I don't think Raven would say friendship. Like, bandits are not family by blood. They're family by community, and they're family by strength. Or choice, yes, exactly. And so, you don't need them, you don't need Yang, you'll be a part of our family, and you'll be, like, the greatest, like, bandit to, like, bandit the 7 bandits, you know what I mean?
The 7 bandits, all 7 of them.
All 7 of them. And so, like, at first, because we see this contrast with Weiss, where she's like, I would never stoop to your level, but what if, like, Spring really kind of makes her feel like, I don't want to say the sister she never had, but, like, a better sister than Winter?
What if it's Spring, not Spring X Winter, but or Spring X Raven, but Spring X Weiss.
Okay. And yeah, so that sort of situation, and then I guess, and I don't want to say an extended thing, but like past that, like, you know, she kind of feels like this community from the group because everybody sort of knows that she's this like badass Schnee, and like they probably make fun of the Schnees behind their back sort of thing, and so like Weiss just kind of like shuts people down and like kind of is this powerful force within the group, and she feels really at home, you know what I mean? And they use their giant summons to like raid all these towns and shit like that, like, you know what I'm saying? And so like what I'm trying to say, Hunter, is I'm more in love with this idea than I am of the idea of RWBY, like as a show. Like this plot is more interesting to me. So
of Weiss becoming
a bandit. Like, temporarily. Obviously, when Team RWBY comes back and sees what she's kind of delved into, they'd be like, Weiss, what the fuck? And Weiss was just like, my father didn't want me. You guys didn't come find me. Like, Yang said that she wasn't, like, that she basically hated all of us because we all left her. So I joined them, okay? Like, for Weiss to kind of go back into that bitchy self, like, for a hot minute.
I also love how it would be, like, two completely different stories, like... I mean, I guess they would also, maybe that could
They
be...
would, like, interject eventually,
yeah, then
right?
what if, like,
that's
okay,
how... I got an idea, okay? So, picture this, okay? Crow knows where the bandits are, they're going with, like, their gang, okay? Yang is with them because she knows, like, where the bandits' hideout is, but they're not there. Instead, they're going out and pillaging some town, right? And so they think this is the perfect opportunity because in all of this chaos, we can probably get the Spring Maiden, maybe. And so they go to whatever town they're pillaging this week because, you know, it's the town of the week, man. Like, just depends. And so they go into this town, and, like, RWBY and Juniper, they all kind of split up and then at the same time, like, you know, stick around each other. But they're all kind of, like, watching sort of, like, this massacre, and then Ren's getting some mad PTSD, because this is kind of what happened, like, with his own, like, town and shit, and everybody's freaking out. And then, you know, RWBY kind of, like, sees this figure in the distance, and, you know, she kind of goes after them because she sees that they're, like, going into a house or something, and she doesn't want the people in there to die. And so RWBY, like, you know, flings this door open, she goes inside, and Weiss is there, like, pillaging, like, some poor, like, family of 4, like, in their house or something like that. And she's like, what? And so, like, eventually, like, Weiss sees her and is like, aw, shit. And so, like, Weiss runs, RWBY runs after her, like, everybody, and so they kind of just all converge together. Like, Weiss runs to the Spring Maiden, Crow is already with the Spring Maiden, so RWBY and them run after Weiss, who is also with the Spring Maiden, and then Raven is also there. And, like, it's just this giant sort of fight to end off the volume, is this kind of craziness of, Weiss, why are you with the bandits? Also, we need to kidnap the Spring Maiden, but also Raven is here, and just this giant, like, mess of a fight, basically. And Blake is just not here because Blake did not get here yet whatsoever. Blake has not rejoined with the team. But imagine if that is how RWBY reunites, and, like, it's sort of this, I don't want to say brainwashed Weiss, but this Weiss that, like, finally felt at home somewhere, like, her second home, sort of after RWBY sort of abandoned her, you know, like, I mean Team RWBY, not just RWBY, because this isn't, like, your fucking, like, slash fanfiction, I don't know.
No, this is your regular fanfiction.
And so, like, when you think about it that way, like, how cool would that be? Like, if they just, if the team is sort of splitting up to find Spring, and they, like, see this giant, like, night summon, and they're like, oh, well, that, I mean, they wouldn't probably even recognize it as Weiss's, right? Because they've never seen her do it before, did they?
They saw it in Volume 3.
Oh, yeah, they saw her do that night, and they're like, what? And they realize that Weiss is, like, totally different, like, her hair is cut, like, like, she's just, you know, pillaging, like, this town along with the bandits, and, like, RWBY, everyone's confused. Yang is like, well, shit, like, I went to see my mom and you weren't there, and then Weiss is just like, well, listen, alright, you said all this, and, like, that kind of conversation that I already described before, and, like, it would just be nuts. And I'm kind of in love with it, and I know it's not gonna happen, but this is probably, like, again, this is one of the most constructed ideas I've ever had, and we've had to kind of split them across videos, but, like, this is the love of my life. Like, what we're talking about just now, like, this is in essence, like, everything that I've kind of ever wanted from an arc in the show. So, that's pretty much all I have to say. Hunter, do you want to say anything about that?
Well,
like, doesn't that
clearly
sound
you're
cool?
invested, but,
I'm very invested. I'm sorry. Like, this is not, like, this is probably one of those videos where I won't be able to take constructive criticism very well at all. Because I'm just like, no, fuck you, this is the great idea. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that Weiss has already been, like, emotionally manipulated, right, by your father and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be hard for Raven to do the same thing and this to basically ensue and be fucking crazy, and I love it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I think that's all I have to say. But, like, Hunter, you've been quiet, so I wanna know.
I just think the idea of Weiss becoming a bandit is great after she's almost killed. That would be an amazing scene, like they walk up with the knife and they're like, holy shit, they're gonna fucking kill Weiss, but really they just cut the ponytail off and like, this is what we're sending back as proof. Like, you're with us now. Like, wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be so nice! And then, like, Spring uses her rapier to do it and then gives the rapier back to her and is like, here, like, you're...
And then maybe that could be, like, maybe she's able to do some inside stuff and that's how they're able to, like, have Spring.
Yeah, like, in the end,
together.
right?
Yeah. Oh my god, the fuck, why are we writing RWBY? Like,
yeah, I know, right? I ask that myself all the time. I love it so much, Hunter. I'm so happy I thought of it.
Why aren't you doing more fanfiction?
I know, I need to write more. I'm very, very sorry.
Same here, fucking university.
I know.
Anyway.
But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I feel very passionate about this idea, obviously. Like, Rooster Teeth, listen, baby, honey. Like, I love you. Anyway, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to subscribe, become a patron over on Patreon, and join our Discord server so you can, like, tell me, like, how much this idea affected you.
I love the little dance Blake is doing. It's like...
Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!